Hey there, it's Samuel Larsen here from Crocus.com. Now this video is for those who are interested in expanding to Amazon or similar marketplaces or platforms as Amazon. But we're going to use Amazon as an example because I think that's the most interesting one and because that's also the biggest one. Now I work with multiple 6- and 7-figure brands who are partly getting their sales from Amazon. Some of them even have it as their main sales channel. So I've got to know their secrets and their pain points, their wins on the platform, and I'll share most of them here in this video. Now let's first look into why Amazon is interesting. Obviously, you can just look at their stock prices. It's a rising tide. It's a company that has done amazingly well over the last 15 years, especially over the past couple of years. They've been just killing it. So this kind of size and this kind of power brings together unique competitive advantage. So they will be able to help you, for example, with the product delivery. That is a bit of a pain point for you, and do that for you, although it is relatively expensive compared to the other third-party vendors. So that's why Amazon can be a good addition. It's a place that has an incredibly high conversion rate. So people just go to Amazon and they almost always buy something, even if it's just a smaller item. But people go there with a super high intent. Now think of it versus your Shopify store where people just arrive there, maybe browse around, and it's quite difficult to get the sale. On the flip side, of course, you have a lot of competition, so it's not it's a holy grail of e-commerce either. But the idea is the same. It is diversifying your sales channel so that you are not reliant on a single channel. So ideally, in business, you'd want to have multiple sales channels to mitigate the risks. So if one sales channel would go bad or one traffic source would go bad, you'd have a replacement for that. And that makes your business more secure, makes it more predictable, and it also, on a personal level, helps you sleep your nights better. So you might be an Amazon seller already, looking to move over to Shopify, or a Shopify seller looking to move to Amazon. But how do we make this work in harmony? So let's look at that next. Now, I gotta give a little bit of a legal notice here, dealing with Amazon. Many of this information is word of mouth, personal opinions, etc. So I'm not wanting to be legally responsible for anything I say here, because I also want to be brutally honest. That said, many people think this is very black and white. It doesn't need to be either Amazon or Shopify, that you just sell on one platform and you do that platform. People identify too much with the platform, with what they're doing. So they say like, okay, I'm the Amazon FBA seller, or I sell through Amazon, I'm a Shopify merchant, etc. And then they lose that fluidity to go against or go after other opportunities. So it's not about the platform really. It's about the strategies, about the putting it to work. Now, there are solid reasons to use both platforms. So let's explore them together and also a little bit of the differences. So I'd say probably one of the biggest differences is obviously Amazon has this organic traffic. They also have paid ads, but a lot of people are browsing around, so you'll be able to get the product views relatively cheaply. You also have a massive trust that comes with Amazon. So people know that if they shop there, they're not going to get scammed. And generally with Amazon, you're not really buying traffic to your product page, which is the case with Shopify. So you could make this argument, and in Amazon, you're more in the product business, and with Shopify, you're more in the marketing business. And with Shopify, of course, you can also get away with more branding. So it is your store, it is your About Us page, it is your everything, and then simultaneously you own your customers. So that's the big benefit in Shopify. So let's say the first question you need to ask yourself when you think of, okay, what would be my main platform, is are you more of a product person, like more of a supplier, or are you more of a marketer? Because that's going to make a huge difference. Play to your strengths. So in Amazon, you don't control the order process. It just basically happens for you. You can help it, of course, and do some tweaks, but you have less control over it. Also in Amazon, you don't control the customer, you don't own them, and you are more relying and dependent on Amazon as a partner. There's even cases where Amazon can just terminate you as a seller if they feel like it, and there's basically nothing you can do. There's been some accounts shut overnight, and there's no way of getting responses of their support. So that's something that to keep in mind. There have also been reports about Amazon that they check out which products are selling, and then they can enter into that space with their own product line, Amazon Basic. So they can ask you for the supplier data even. You provide it to them, and then they have a supplier for that Amazon Basic product. And they are essentially stealing customers from you, but it's happening on their own platform. So it's a sort of, they have the control all the way. So you can look at it kind of like this. You have your product. You have it on Amazon, but they are paying you a commission on the sales that they make. So your business is not very protected in that way. So it's a case where you are basically more dependent on them than they are on you. You don't really want to be in that position. But it definitely can be a case where it also works out. It has worked out great for many of my clients as well. And many of them started on Amazon, got their initial successes there, and then built a Shopify store to protect themselves. Now, typically, what will happen when you join Amazon as a Shopify merchant? I've also seen this transition. So people want to add another sales channel, and kind of they're helping, guiding them to get it done. Now, first of all, probably nothing's going to happen because it's not automatic. You might have a lot of traction in Shopify, but that's not necessarily going to automatically translate to Amazon. You are not going to rank the products overnight. It's a longer, more tedious process to help get those rankings and those reviews going and to get traction on the platform. So expect it to require work, and don't believe the gurus who say that you can get success in 14 days or 7 days. It's just not how business works. Now also, it complicates your business a little bit, because instead of worrying about one thing, you are now worrying about multiple sales channels. And then you have this little bit of a different dilemma or a problem where you are in a product promotion business instead of brand promotion. So that's also a big difference. So you need a little bit of a different skill set and a little bit of a different tools to make it happen. So I'd say your success on Shopify wasn't an overnight thing. So don't expect it to be an overnight thing on Amazon either. Thirdly, understand that you're making a trade. So once you start getting success in customers, you are trading that customer ownership and brand presentation, and actually a lot of profits as well to Amazon, in exchange for that exposure to potential clients and buyers. So in a way, it can be fantastic because you are getting that exchange, and who wouldn't want potential buyers to look at their products? Like, in a way, it's just like having your products on Walmart. You're going to get a lot of visibility and a lot of eyeballs. But let's say you do that. You first fight through the initial hurdles, and then you have figured out Amazon more or less. You're getting success now. Now this is the part where you can start benefiting from it. So you might start cash flowing nicely and increasing your business's overall profitability, because you're also hitting those economies of scale there. Then you will have a nice additional cash flow coming in, and you have basically a supporting structure. Because just like having only Amazon can be risky, having only Shopify can be risky as well. Not as much so, but if you look at your Shopify store, you're still relying on probably Facebook ads or SEO or some other source that is still kind of questionable. It's very unlikely that you'll have your traffic perfectly distributed amongst 5 or more channels. So let's look into how can we make Amazon work side by side with your Shopify store. Now, what we notice with the merchants that we have is there's often spillover effects from channels. So some of the customers will come from Amazon to check your brand, and some of your brand checkers will go to Amazon and buy from there. Now, this is very difficult to track, but we found this out with surveys, and interviewing people on what their buyer's journey was like. So people find you from Amazon, purchase from the site, or find you from the site and prefer to buy from Amazon. Like I said, Amazon has a ton of trust, so people feel comfortable shopping there. And on the flip side, your Shopify store doesn't. So you can kind of see the underlying theme on this video is whatever is the strength of Amazon is the weakness of your Shopify store, and whatever is the weakness of your Shopify store is the strength of Amazon. But if you think of e-commerce as a multi-purchase game, like you should, then it makes a ton of sense to even like if people go to your site, they find you out from there, but they end up buying from Amazon. It still makes sense to sell that first purchase on Amazon, because then you can send in the package, can have a lot of branding, not the package itself, but what's behind that Amazon brand package, and you can have different things there. For example, like guarantees, gift cards, whatever is aligned with Amazon's current rules. Be very careful about breaking those because they can be harsh. But in summary, I'd say then use Amazon, but don't rely on it. Understand that you are playing with fire. You might get a nice meal out of it, but you can also get burned. So it's a big boys game, and big boys know what they're getting into. But finally, like as a bottom line, it's not really about Amazon. It's something that applies to any other similar platforms as well. There's no difference between Amazon and Walmart, with perhaps with their business practices and the Amazon basic part, where they might end up competing with you. Walmart is less likely to do that, for example, but still similar principles apply. You are being what some people could say a glorified affiliate in these platforms because they are doing all the work. You're just providing this little piece in their puzzle, and that piece can be replaced, and it's not necessarily going to be that protected. All right, doing this as a sales channel. Hope you're having a good success there as well. Let me know if I can help, and thank you for watching the video. I'll link a couple of related videos here you can watch to get more out of learning. So instead of going to watch sports highlights or cat videos, watch something that's going to help you. And in order to optimize your YouTube algorithm for more and better e-commerce videos, make sure to like this video, subscribe. If you have any questions regarding this, just comment below. I'll be able to answer all of them. Okay, take care. Thanks.